Welcome to the Great Girlfriends podcast, where we discuss life, love, laughter, and everything in between. Happy Women's History Month, Great Girlfriends. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So many amazing things are happening in our community. I don't even know where to start. Start with that big screen. Listen, if you're not a part of our Facebook group, I'm going to tell you to jump right over. First things first, before you even get into this episode, go to facebook.com/groups/the Great Girlfriends. Join our community. We are having all the conversations, all the connections, so much support, so much anchoring happening there. And it makes me really, really happy to see so many women thriving and coming together in the name of sisterhood and community and friendship. That's what this is all about. So I want to see you in that community. And when you do jump in, make sure you say, I heard about it on the podcast, because I want to know who the listeners are. And I'd love to know what you're gaining from the podcast and what you'd like to see in future episodes as we are rolling out new content for 2021. There's also been special announcements about a contest where you, as a female entrepreneur, could possibly win $100,000. Yes, yes, yes. Now, I don't know if y'all been on this pitch and grant train that's been happening, but there's so many opportunities out there for you to really, really support your business, support your dreams, your visions, all through grant funding. And I'm seeing them all over the place. And I'm seeing so many of my great girlfriends receive grants. And we've been so blessed to partner with Essence and Pine Sol to share this opportunity, the same opportunity that we shared last year, sharing it again this year. $100,000 giveaway. And so if you jump in our Facebook group, all the details are there. You can learn more about it and you can enter your business to win that $100,000. On top of that, if you're a person who loves more intimate community, right? So our Facebook group has 21,000 women. Maybe that's too many women for you. Maybe you like a more intimate space where women are connected on a more one-on-one basis, where you can see people by name, come to monthly events, put your visions, your plans out there, set goals, and have the support that you need to make those moves that you want to make in 2021. Then I'm inviting you to our private community, which is called The Bond. It is a private growth circle. Now listen, it's not for everyone. I understand. Not everyone wants that one-on-one connection and accountability. But then there's some of us who really, really need that, because we are moving the mountains that have been holding us back and have allowed us to sit stagnant or have excuses for why we can't succeed at certain things. So I'm inviting you to join The Bond, which is a private growth circle for women who want more intimate connection. I'm in there every day. I'm connecting with women every day. I'm mentoring, I'm advising, I'm supporting, I'm laughing. I'm getting the accountability I need. We're all growing together. So many of our community members made some major traction last year as a result of being aligned with women who are thinking, moving, and feeling the same way that they are. There is no reason why you can't win at all that you desire to win at, but you will need support. And that's what having a strong community is all about. So if that's you, I want to see you inside the community. You're going to go to bit.ly/the bond circle. That's bit.ly/the bond circle. Jump in. Don't think twice. Don't say, wait a minute, can I make this happen? How can I make this happen? Say, I'm going to make this happen. Jump right in. Get acquainted. I'll see you inside. We have events coming up every month. We have about 4 events a month, and it gives us a chance to learn each other more intimately and just connect and have fun and feel connected along our journey. So get in there. The Bond. bit.ly/the bond circle. Next, all you listeners from around the world, 100 countries, actually over 100 countries now, 178 U.S. markets, okay? Over 21,000 listeners every single month. We want your reviews. I want your reviews. If you like, love, enjoy, want to share this show with another woman who should be a part of this community, I need your iTunes review. We have been in the business of podcasting for about 6 years now, and the show has done so well. We've gained so much traction. We've been in the top 100 in the iTunes self-help and business categories a number of times. You know, there's just been so much opportunity and so much content that's been poured out on this podcast. Having said that, we need your reviews. Go to iTunes, select our podcast, scroll to the bottom. It says write a review. That's your spot. You're going to not just give us 5 stars, but also say what you really, really like and take away from this podcast. It's not just for me. It means the world to another great girlfriend who may want to listen and is on the fence about it. Just share your favorite episode number, or share something you took away, or share why you love this show, or share why you would want someone else to listen. And I love one of my favorite reviews that we hear so often with this show is that this feels like, you know, a living room. It feels like great girlfriends in your head. And that's the goal. The goal when we created this show was that women would feel like you have the sisterhood that you've always longed for right here on this platform. And that you would feel like you could, yeah, that's right, do all of that while you're listening to the podcast. All right, so I'm back this week with Collette V. Smith. That episode last week was amazing. If you missed part 1, you have to go back and listen. Part 2 is going to blow your mind even more. Collette has shown us that women can make history. We can be the first, but definitely not the last. And I'm so inspired to jump into part 2 of her story. So grab your pen and paper and jump in. Enjoy the show.
Okay, so Collette, the Jets, seriously, the NFL?
Yeah.
What woman, what Black woman does that? Like, I know there was a lot of things that lined you up for that opportunity. But even that, even still, the locker room is different. The conversations are different. The objections, all of this stuff.
Nothing was different.
Nothing was different?
Nothing. Well, you know what? There was one thing that was different.
Okay.
I believe the women play harder.
Wow.
Women's pro football play harder. So I actually was a little disappointed when I got there because I just figured my mind is going to be blown. And I was like, this is what they're doing? I was like, are you kidding me? Really?
Wow.
So I was kind of surprised. Yeah, it was not what I expected it to be. And then these men are getting paid millions of dollars, you know, and on the bottom end, these men are getting paid on the low end, like $750,000 to start. If they're not a Gamal or a Demario Davis or Peyton Manning or, you know, so those guys got paid a lot more money, but I expected more. I really expected more. I mean, I wasn't scared. I was excited, but that job wasn't for me. I didn't search for that job. Like, I wasn't looking to have a job in the NFL. At that time, I had retired from playing pro football at 45 years old. Wow. And I started coaching my women's team. And then I was also doing their marketing, their PR, their events and promotions. And so I started promoting my women's team. And I grew up a Jets fan. So it's crazy that I coached for my favorite team in the whole world. So I just started making calls to the Jets, literally. And if they didn't answer the phone, I'd call back. I'm like, they're going to get sick and tired of me calling. Or they're gonna either answer the phone. One way, I'm talking to somebody. So I kept calling and calling. And then one day somebody called me and I happened to have an attitude. I had an attitude this day when this guy called me. I didn't know who it was. And I figured it was going to be one of these other men that call me from social media to ask me about football. Do you guys really use a football? Do you really play on a field? I mean, I would get questions from men contacting me about my women's pro team. So I was thinking, here we go again. And I was like, yeah, what is it? Yeah. And then the guy said his name and who he was with the Jets. He was the vice president of operations for the Jets, the New York Jets. And I was like, I said, oh, I'm sorry. Hi, how are you? I changed up my whole attitude.
Quick, like, whoa, okay.
like this. And we just started talking shop. And he said, every time I hear you speak, he goes, even this phone call right now, he goes, I can feel your passion through the phone. And he said, I really want to help your women's team. And I said, well, how are you going to do that? Because I can give you a list.
You like, come on, if you're going to do it, here's my list.
give you a list right now.
Yeah.
So one of the things he said was he would give me on-field access to Jets practices or a practice. And I was thinking, I don't care about coming to a Jets practice. Like, I don't have time for that crap. Is what I was thinking. And then I thought about it. I said, no, you know what? Let me use that opportunity to learn from NFL coaches to be a better coach for my women.
Yes.
And so I went there under that pretense for me. And it turned out I got a job.
Amazing. So tell me about the locker room. They say it's no place for a woman. They say it's, we shouldn't be in there. And the way that women are treated in sport, in NFL specifically, NBA sports, it's no place for a woman. What have you learned? Is that true for all women? Or I see different.
It's a really good place for a woman. Let me just say that. It's a really good place for a woman.
They're trying to keep things from us. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah. Yeah, I had my own locker room. So like the coaches, they're all men.
Yeah.
Besides me being the only woman in Jets franchise history, they had the coaches' locker room. I had my own locker room. But it was silly kind of sort of because I had to walk through the players' locker room to get to my locker room. But whatever, nobody cared. Like it wasn't, nobody cared. I would come into the, at the stadium, MetLife Stadium, I'd walk in and you see the guys, and my locker room is over there. So I went in my locker room, I changed, I came out and then I would wait outside.
Yeah.
Or I would knock on the coach's locker room door and be like, are y'all dressed yet? Can we talk football? Come on.
Oh my goodness. Right.
So,
my God, Collette. So, tell me, dispel these myths. Are they true or false? There's a lack of respect. True or false? Is that true for you that, respect was an issue or you had to command it differently?
Respect from whom in particular? Like
respect from your colleagues, I would say.
So I'll say all the players completely respectful. In fact, they did nothing but look at me and say, Coach, thank you so much. I have a daughter. Or I'm so proud of you. My sister likes football and this is bugging me out. I'm so proud of you. So the players were very happy.
Yeah.
The coaches were cool, but there's always one, right?
Yeah, of course.
There's always one. So I don't care where you work. I don't care if you work at the library, in corporate America. I don't care who you work for. Yeah. There's always going to be one person that is your thorn. And I had one. And he was horrible. He was horrible. I got no respect from him from the day I walked in the door. He didn't even let me mess up.
Wow.
To say, see, you shouldn't have hired a girl.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He didn't give me that opportunity to even mess up. From day one, I had no respect. And he was my direct coach too, for my position.
Yeah.
And I was so excited. I was so excited to be there. I was so happy. And I did my homework and my research on all the coaches, on all the players, primarily the players I was going to coach, which were the defensive backs. And I looked up the DB coaches and he was the head DB coach. And I went in his office. And I was like, this is my first day. And I knocked on his door. The door was open. He was in front of his computer. And he was looking at his computer like this on his computer. I walk in and I said, hey, Coach D, how you doing? It's nice to meet you. Oh, blah, blah, blah. I know you did this. You work for the Bears. You did this. I was going in.
Yeah.
And he went like this to me.
Oh.
He looked at me and then he went back looking at his computer. And I'm standing there like,
right. Because what is this?
Yeah. So he set the tone for me from day one, and it was a hard road with him, but, my defensive coordinator, Casey Rogers, DC, the head coach, Todd Bowles, who hired me directly.
Yeah.
Amazing. Coach Stump, Bob, they were amazing. So everybody was super, except for one person.
Yeah.
You know?
And
So
we don't have to get past that one person. Sometimes you have to
Yeah.
decide whether you're supposed to be somewhere or not. Because that one person will make you feel like you don't belong. And you have to remind yourself, no, I belong here.
Yeah. It was tough because I would have days where I was clammed up sometimes. If he wasn't around, I felt great. And I'm like into my football stuff, but then when he was there, he would give me a look. It was a look like your daddy would if you did something wrong. And then you would go, oh, I'm sorry. He would give me a look. And I would be like,
yeah.
You know. So he made it tough. But remember the movie Hidden Figures?
Yes, yes.
And their bathroom for the black women was so far away. Yes. My bathroom was far away because there was really no need for female bathroom in the direct area where the offices are. So you either had to go all the way down the hallway near the cafeteria, go out the main door, cut a left, or you went upstairs through the whole office upstairs where it was corporate. And I was so upset one day, I went to the bathroom so I could cry because I was like, no one's going to see me crying here.
Yeah.
And I went to the bathroom, and that was the day I was like, I'm happy it's far away, because I was like, it was starting to happen. I was like, this was the only day. I was like, thank God it's so far away. And I went in that bathroom and I cried. And I cried out of anger. Yeah, I cried out of anger. And I remember when I looked up, I was holding the sink. I had my head down. And I looked up. My face was red. My eyes were puffy. And I looked at myself, and then I got more angry. Like, girl,
yeah,
you cut this shit out, And I threw some water in my face, and I was like this,
yeah.
So,
wow,
yeah. So a lot of things I learned about who I really am.
Yeah. Because along the way, because I know, Collette, too, you're also an ambassador. I think it's the National Coalition, against domestic violence. Yeah. So I know you and I share a similar history with trauma and sexual assault. Yeah. So I don't want to pretend like there was so many different rocky sides of the road, right? And then there's that relationship with men that can also create complexities when it's time for you to relate and when it's time for you to even trust in those types of environments. So I do want to talk about how big of a deal that is for you as a woman to embed yourself in an environment. After going through the things that you've gone through, do you want to touch on any of that a bit?
Oh, I don't mind. I mean, I'm absolutely an open book. Me keeping things to myself doesn't liberate me or others.
That's right. So I went through the assault at 19. How old were you?
So my first time I was molested when I was about 10, 11 years old. I just remember I had 2 long pigtails and braids, and I had on a red boat neck shirt and some green gym shorts with red piping to match my shirt. And I was in a grocery store, and a white man stuck his tongue down my throat. So that was the first time as a kid. Yeah. Straight traumatized. Like, I was straight traumatized. Because I was purely innocent. Like, completely innocent.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. And what did you do at 10? Where are your parents? What did you do?
So I had just had a baby sister. My mom had another kid, and I begged her to let me go to the library because I was a bookworm. I was a nerd and a tomboy. And I begged my mom, could I go to the library? And she said, well, I can't take you because I'm watching Heather. And I said, but I can go. I'll go right there. She goes, you know what? If you go straight to the library, come straight home, I'll let you go. And on the way back, you passed the grocery store going and coming. And I said, I'm going to get my sister some animal crackers. I mean, it's right here. I literally passed the grocery store.
Yeah.
that I grew up in, right?
Yeah.
My parents shopped at that one grocery store, and I went to the cookie aisle. And that's when this guy was asking me, could he have a kiss? And I was like, huh? And then I kissed him on his cheek, you know?
Oh.
I mean, I didn't know any better.
Yeah, because you're just, yeah.
And then he asked me, you know, he goes, where are your parents? And I said, I was so proud. I said, well, my dad's at work, and my mom let me come by myself for the first time.
Yeah. Big girl moment. Yeah. And
I thought I was like killing it. And he was like, perfect, you know, perfect. So when I got home, my mom was really pissed. So I ran home. I dropped the animal cracker cookies, I don't know where, somewhere between grocery store and home. And I ran all the way home, and I ran in the door. I told my mom, and my mom actually said, good for you, because I told you to come straight home. And I'll never forget she said that. And I still didn't understand it, except that, well, I was supposed to come straight home. So that's what she meant. And then my dad got home from work with his George Jefferson suit on, you know, the vest under the
the East Side suit.
You know what I'm saying? Moving on up, you know?
Yeah.
And I told my dad, and my dad said, what? He looked at his wife, and he said, what? And she goes, that's what she said. And so my dad said, where? And I told him in the grocery store. He goes, come on. He put down his briefcase, took off his blazer, grabbed the baseball bat, and we got in his car, and we drove to the grocery store.
Yes.
And we walked up and down every aisle, but that was hours later.
Yeah.
But, you know, so that was the first trauma. And then the second trauma was my favorite aunt, Collette. I'm named after my aunt Collette, who I loved to pieces. Her husband raped me when I was a freshman at Tuskegee, at their house in Atlanta, Georgia, in Buckhead. So he raped me twice, 2 different times. And then my family didn't believe me or told me to shut up, you know, leave it alone, just stop, leave it alone. And then it goes on from there, you know. So, you figure at some point you're so innocent, and you want to make your parents proud. You want to go to college. You want to be a professional. Then you go through this trauma, and everything changed for me. So I left.
You don't want anything.
Everything changed.
Everything changes. Yes. Nothing
Completely.
looks the same. No two people look the same. The world is a totally different. People don't understand it, especially, I don't know, for me, it was acquaintance as well. So when you know the person, and when you've allowed, and when you've trusted them in your safe space, and that's violated, your world is
jacked up, you know? I mean, because you figure at 18 years old, you're still a kid.
That's right.
You're still a kid.
Right.
This was a grown man that was married to my aunt, you know? And so it was horrific for me. And, you know, I was madly in love. So I went to school as a virgin, right? And I fell in, because for me, it had to be the right way. Like, all my girlfriends were having sex or whatever, and I didn't care. I was like, you love him, he loves you? And they were like, no, girl, please. And I'm like, well, then why are you doing that?
Then why?
I don't understand. You know?
I
don't understand. What am I missing here? And so when I went away to college, I literally fell in love with the most wonderful man in the world. And he was a first-year vet student, and I was pre-vet. And so we became thick as thieves. And he knew something was wrong with me when I came back the following semester. And I didn't tell anybody, because I didn't want my dad to go to jail.
Right.
So I didn't tell anybody. I kept it to myself, you know.
Same thing. I was like, my father will kill someone, and I can't have that. Yeah.
I'm not having my dad go to jail.
Yep. And honestly, back then, who would believe me? I didn't think anyone would believe me. So, yeah.
I felt the same way, you know, and I'll never forget, I didn't want to go to his house, because he lived off campus, and I lived in Olivia Davidson Hall at Tuskegee University, and he came to pick me up, you know, and all the girls on my floor, my dorm door, were like, Mark is here, you know, and they just knew I was going to go flying downstairs, and I was like, tell him I'm not here.
Yeah.
Tell him, you know.
Wow.
And I did that for a couple days, and eventually I begged my best friend to come with me. Her name was Ursula Pritchett. She's from Brooklyn, New York. And I begged her to come with me to Mark's house. And she came. But he knew something was wrong.
Wow.
And this is interesting. So talk about great girlfriends, right? Yeah. Great girlfriends. This girl, Ursula, we were walking on campus one day. Mm-hmm. And there were these bushes near Kresge Hall. And they had these red berries on them. And I grabbed a handful of the berries. And I said, Ursula, put your hand out. And she put her hand out, and I put the berries in her hand. And I said, she goes, what the hell is this? I said, these are friendship berries, girl. I love you. You're my best friend. And she took the berries, and she goes, bitch, please. Right? She threw them, and we're laughing because it was funny, right? Because I was just being silly. So then I grabbed some more berries, and I said, I'm giving them to Mark. He'll take my berries. Mark loves me. So I gave the berries to Mark later on in front of her, and I said, see, he ain't throw my berries away, right? And that was just an inside joke.
Yeah.
So when I come back after I was raped and he knew something was wrong with me, he took me into the bathroom that was under construction in his house. He had me sit on this bucket, this upside down bucket. He goes, you sit right there. He goes, now I want you to tell me what's going on. And I said, nothing, I'm fine. He goes, no, something is not right. Talk to me. And I was like, no, nothing's wrong. He left the bathroom. He said, wait right here. And he came back in with a jewelry box. And he opened. So I'm like, what are you doing?
Right.
And he gives me the jewelry box. I opened it up. It had the berries. And the berries were all dried up.
Oh, my gosh. Oh.
And I was a wreck. Oh. Yeah. And I was a complete wreck.
Oh, my gosh.
And he said, I love you. This is how much I love you. Everything you give me, I'm keeping. Everything about you, I love. And I ended up telling him. He was the first person I told what happened. And I begged him not to tell my dad, like not to tell my parents.
Yeah.
And he said he wouldn't tell. And then I had to go back to my aunt and uncle's house that following semester because my parents couldn't afford my plane ticket back to New York from, so he was not having it. And I said, I have to go. I'll just be safer when I'm there. And he left me at my dorm. And then he came back and he goes, Collette, you got to come to my house real quick. And I was like, I can't. My Aunt Colette's going to be here any minute.
Yeah.
And he said, I got us our puppy. We started our family already.
Wow.
So I got us a puppy. And I was like, oh my God, we got a baby, and he's like, yeah, come. I said, just for a minute. And when we were driving back to his house, he pretty much told me that I found your dad and I gave your dad a call. And he said, I love you so much. If I have to lose you to make sure you're safe, I'm willing to lose you to make sure you're safe because you're not going back there.
Wow.
So that's pretty much how my dad found out.
Oh my gosh. That is so big. That's so big. And that was so responsible for him. He was a kid too. So that's so responsible of him to even think that far ahead and want to protect you. And
I don't even know how he found my parents.
Yeah.
I mean, I never gave him my number.
Yeah, because we're talking number. Back in the white pages.
This was 87, 88. Who the hell had
You dialed many numbers. Yeah, there's no internet. It's like he really dug and dug and dug. He wanted to make sure you were protected and covered and loved. And that is so beautiful. And he saw you. It's so important that people see you. Really. Someone said here, what happened to Mark?
Oh, Mark. So Mark Crenshaw, good question.
I didn't want to ask, so I'm glad they asked, so I could just put it on.
Yeah, that's a good question, right? So we still keep in touch. We were together until I was a junior in college.
Okay.
And, obviously he graduated because he was older than me in college. But he was my first. And I just, it just didn't work out. I feel like I outgrew him.
Okay.
I needed, he was my very first love ever. And I just outgrew him. But we keep in touch. We still keep in touch.
He's single? Yeah.
He was married. I met his son.
Okay.
But I discovered that Mark wasn't going to be enough for me.
Okay. Yeah, there we go. Moving past Mark. That story is there's so many facets of that story, Collette, and one of them that I see is like your resilience, your strength, so much that you learned and that you gained. And even in that, I want to just touch on this, so important. You felt protected by your father, and that's a big deal for a girl to feel protected by her father and that role of daddy in your life. So I would love to know, because even with that, daddy's like, I don't want you playing football. It's not the safest thing for my girl. And you had to know that you knew something different about you, and you had to trust yourself. Like, despite the idea, like, people want to protect you, but I know what I know about me, and I know that I'm safe doing the thing that I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
You have to choose yourself, you know?
For me, it was like, why would you not let me play, but my brother can?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Football just isn't going to hurt a girl. It can hurt a boy or a girl, but...
That's right.
So, yeah,
right.
I was going to play at some point. Like, there was no stopping that.
So good. So what do you know now that you wish you knew? Back.
Wow. I mean, if I had to say to myself, like my younger self, I would say you're enough.
Yes.
I would say you're enough and you're worthy and you're valuable.
Yes.
You know, and I don't need to prove anything to anybody but myself and God. You know?
And God keeps showing himself through you every single time you show up. And now the fact that you have made yourself available to young girls and women and empowering them through believing you, your foundation and all the philanthropy work that you do. Like the message, I know there's got to be a movie somewhere in the works. I know I don't know who on this live is listening, but we need a movie. We need a movie.
There's a lot. I had some people touch base with me. So I started a documentary and then I've got a lot of footage from my documentary, but the guy that was filming my documentary did me wrong and he had to be fired, and he's sitting on my footage, you know? So, but outside of that document, I can pick it up where I left off. I mean, I've got Vanessa Williams in my documentary for interviews. I've got Lawrence Taylor in it. Yeah. I've got Beasley Reese. I have Roxanne Shante. I got people that I know. LL Cool J is going to be in it. Salt and Pepper. Because these are Queens people. You know, Queens.
Yeah.
Your Queens come Queens.
You. That's right.
You know? Yeah, man. But the movie situation, I have some people that are saying that the movie, you know, I can't do a movie because there's so many stories. Like, there's so many facets that we can't ram it into a 2-hour movie. So there just might be a series, like a weekly series.
I just sort of went into this who could play Collette in my eyes. And I want to see in the comments. Everybody's like, yeah, they want a movie. They want it with the Mark scene. They agree. Like, they're like, this needs to be a movie. And I'm now thinking, who's going to play Collette? Like, who would be an amazing, like, bad to the bone? Part of me thinks Lil Mama could do it. And I can't wait to hear what people say. But I
like the little girl from the Hate We Live or The Hate You Give.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. What's her name? She's good. She is good.
Yeah. She can play the younger self.
Yeah.
You know, younger, little Collette.
I love that.
There's a lot of things. I mean, there's so many different things. When you figure from moving from Mark, who was a good man, who treated me with the utmost respect, showed me love, and showed me how a woman is supposed to be treated. After the rapes, I dated drug dealers. I dated men that beat me. I dated men that verbally and emotionally abused me. And it was a rough road. It was really a rough road, you know, and football saved my life.
Wow.
You know, football literally saved my life. At the age of 42, I discovered that I am worthy, that I am enough.
Oh, my goodness. So that sofa moment was bigger than you saying yes to the sport. You were saying yes to Collette on a larger level. You were choosing you and really stepping. That's so powerful. And I think we all get to that moment where we've done enough living for other people, done enough being available and being other people's punching bag, emotionally, physically, whatever it is. And we have to say yes to ourselves and yes to our dreams, our desires. Really quickly, Layla, hey, Layla said, you need someone with a little Rosie Perez edge. And I agree. Yeah, you need a little.
You know what's funny about that? Was it Layla?
Yes.
So I used to live in LA for about a year and a half, 2 years. Back in the 90s, in the mid 90s, everybody thought I was Rosie Perez when I lived in LA.
Yes.
Because I have that New York, I'm a New Yorker, right?
Yes.
Everybody swore I was Rosie Perez. I got into so many clubs.
Yes.
I was signing autographs, and I was like, is Rosie with an I-E or a Y? I don't know.
I love that. Oh, my God. That's major. So, okay, we know we're speaking the movie. We're speaking that the documentary is going to be resurrected with the right team.
Right, the right team.
And the right lawyers to protect us from the streets, right?
Yep.
The book.
I'm working on that book. Oh, my gosh. I'm working on that book. And I've been working on that book since the end of 2018. And if anybody knows me, I am not a writer. I hate to. If you ask me to email you something, I'm like, damn, Sybil, I just told you. Can you, like, why do I got to email it to you? You know?
Yeah.
Like, shoot. So I don't like to write. So me doing this book is me challenging myself, right? Mm-hmm. So I tell kids that I mentor, if you're comfortable, you're not growing. It is when you are uncomfortable is when you're growing, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm challenging myself with this book. I want the book out there. I just don't want to do it. But I don't want anybody to write it for me. It's got to be me and a pen.
Yeah.
Paper. Like, for real. It has to be me.
Wow.
So I've been writing now whenever it strikes me. So I have to feel the urge to write.
Yeah.
Something has to trigger me, and then I get into it. Then I really get into it. And then then it stops. And then I go, all right, I'm done. Next thing. And then I'm touching it. So I've got the book coming out.
Yeah, I see it. Oh my gosh. You know what? We need to make sure, listen, everyone on this stream, this live, make sure we're praying for Collette daily so she can pick up her pen, her paper, and whatever it is you need to jot to get the writing going. Yeah.
Yes.
My gosh. And then I know that you're caring for your parents. So I know I saw your mom dancing on the gram. I see mom
she's a trip. She's a trip. I discovered she likes WAP. Like Cardi B.
I cannot. Oh my God.
Look at my face.
Questions. Like, who introduced her to it? What?
Me. I did.
Okay.
And here's what's so funny about my mom dancing to WAP is that my mom has got full-fledged dementia. And it's like she is fried, right?
Wow.
But prior to dementia, my mother was so classy and so elegant. She wore stockings, not pantyhose, stockings, you know. And she always had makeup on. Her hair was always up. And, you know, she was always done. And she was a little bit of a tight ass. You know, like she would want to dance, but she would be concerned about what people might think if she's dancing too wild or whatever. And I was always like, Ma, have fun.
Yeah.
Let's go. And she's like, oh, stop. You know, stop. Now with her dementia, I got her all the way up.
She has strong knees because I saw a little squat.
You see her?
I said, wait a minute, mama got strong.
She goes down to the floor. And then she sometimes will come up and look at me all the way coming up. And I'm like,
that's legacy. She's like, can you do this right here?
Right. And I'm like, no, Ma, I played football when I had double knee surgery. So, nah.
So, Mama, you do that for all of us. I want to shout out because I enjoy those videos, and I love to look at her face. She just looks so satisfied, just moving her body, and she looks like
she loves it. So you know what's funny when I go to my parents' house, because I have keys at my parents' house. My dad. So imagine a light-skinned George Jefferson, right?
Okay.
That's my daddy, right? He's Mr. Fix this, do it now. He's like, you know, quick. And then there's my mother, who's so quiet and hospitable and so gingerly. Would you like some tea?
Yeah.
You know. And so now I got both parts of them in me. So I come in the door with my keys. They're sitting in the dark, pretty much watching TV all day.
Yeah.
I come in, I'm like, get your asses up. Let's go. Come on. Blinds are open. And then my dad goes, oh, hell, take that shit in the kitchen. So I take my mom in the kitchen.
That's music videos are in the kitchen. Yeah.
They're always in the kitchen. They're always in the kitchen. Yeah.
I love it.
There might be one or two that are not in the kitchen, but majority are all in the kitchen because it gives him a break.
Yeah.
With my mom, because her dementia is so severe.
Wow.
He needs a break. So I come over there to rescue him. Not necessarily my mom, because she's really fried.
Yeah. Yeah.
My dad needs the break. Mm-hmm. So I'm going there to rescue him. Mm-hmm. And then I have fun with my mom. Mm-hmm. I put on some Cardi B WAP and we go at it.
Yeah. I love that. You know, those are the memories. Like I have that with my dad from last year. He passed from Parkinson's, but we were able to get on Instagram and make some faces and learn social media. And he hated it, but he kept asking me to do Instagram with him. And I'm like, you like this, daddy. And all those memories that I just enjoy. And it just reminds me to keep my heart light through all seasons. You know what I mean? Because that's the gift that you get in those dancing moments is a light heart, you know, joy, despite all the hardship of caring for parents.
It makes you gotta smile sometimes. And like one of my girlfriends is trying, then she goes, Daddy not playing. And guess my daddy don't be playing. And I said it like that on purpose, grammatically incorrect on purpose. My daddy ain't playing, you know. Once in a while, he comes in with us. Once in a while. You know?
I love it. His joy is infectious. You can't run from it. You end up falling right into it at a certain point.
Yeah, it is. You know, because he's you figure we have. I mean, my mom is going to the bathroom on the floor.
Oh my, yeah. She's
there. She's all the way there.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, she knows who I am, but she can't feed herself really. Yeah. If you tell her to put the light on, she can't find the light. It's just she's all the way jacked up, you know?
Yeah.
And it's really, really hard. So I go there to rescue my dad.
Yeah.
You know? And she has some fun. I have fun with her.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Oh, I love that. Oh, I'm sending blessings to your family too, because I do know that journey. It's complex. Yeah. Right. It is. And no 2 days are the same. So I know your dad is really taking on a lot of that. You know,
a whole bunch.
You see the vows come alive even more, you know, when these stages, it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So what is Collette, what is the legacy? I feel like we're experiencing so much of your legacy in this conversation, but what is the thing that you're striving for every day?
You know, I want to level the playing field for Black girls. That's what I want. Mm-hmm. I will not stop until it's equal and level for everybody, right? For us.
Yeah.
For us.
Ooh,
you know, I remember one day, Sybil, I was somewhere talking to some kids, and there were a handful of others there. Let's just call them others. Mm-hmm. And this woman said to me, well, what about the white kids? Now, excuse me, I what? You know, and she goes, well, you always talk about Black youth. And I said, that's correct. And she goes, well, what about, and I was like, Jesus, please don't let her say it. Please don't let her say what I think she's going to say. And she said it. And my response to her, in my brain, my response was something totally different. But I said, no, we can't do that. Right? So I told her, I said, you know, when you start sending your children to a school in a Black neighborhood for a really good education, then I won't have to talk about it anymore.
Come on.
And she looked at me like, I got the memo. I was like, yeah, have a good day, Karen. Have a good day.
Yeah. When you start busting in and when you start taking 3 subways and all the stuff, like, don't even. Yeah. No, you're good. They're good. Okay.
Right. They're just fine. Okay. They're just fine. It's my kids who I'm worried about because it isn't fair for our children. I want that to happen. I want that to be my legacy. Right now, I'm also working on prison reform. And I before the pandemic, I was speaking at juvenile detention centers. I haven't done that now. That's, you know, it breaks my heart.
Yeah.
You know, visiting more schools. Like, I want to be able to visit as many schools as possible.
I love that. Your story is so powerful. And there were so many facets that I have just even more love for you now that I've sat through them and felt all the vibes going back and forth. I could do this all day, and I'm sure you and your great girlfriends have a huge laugh every time y'all get together.
Oh, man. Oh, we do.
That look away lets me know that it's that's the
we do.
Yeah. That's the memory bank. I love that because that's what we need. We need that to sustain us, and we need that to help inspire other people and show them it's possible. And that's my mission, to show women that this kind of like kindred, like-minded, parallel relationship and growth, all of this is possible. You got to cultivate it, but you can have it. You can have it. Yeah.
And then, you don't want necessarily just your girlfriends to yes you. Like, I don't want my girlfriends to yes me.
No.
If you see I'm doing something that's damaging, tell me.
Come on. Sharpen me.
That's love.
Yeah.
Like, that's love.
Yep.
You know? So my girlfriends, and I get on them and they get on me, and I'm like, ooh, new perspective. Thanks. I'm not doing that though, but thank you for the insight. Tell me though.
I feel like somebody's going to be tapping you about this book when you get off. Like, so you writing, girl? I see you. I love it. Collette, like, if I could just throw you into the sky as one of Bright Stars, I would do it. But I just can't thank you enough for sharing so much of yourself. So much. My little boy, my son is 12. He was excited. I said, guess who I'm talking to today? Because they don't think I'm the bomb, right? So I have to keep flexing on my kids. I am talking to the first African-American female coach in the NFL. And my son's a football player. He was like, for who? I said, the Jets. I said, you know her name? He's like, yeah. I'm like, no, you don't. I could tell you don't. That's like, I know you don't know her name. Mommy knows her name because I'm fly like that. That's right. So I'm flexing on my kids tonight. I don't know if they're watching.
I know that's right.
I'm flexing. I'm bad to the bone, too. But no, I just want to thank you so much. You've shared so much. You've given us so much. We're so ready to support that book, the movie, the doc.
Thank you.
Great girlfriends, did you enjoy this week's episode of the podcast? If so, would you please give us your amazing review on iTunes? Every single review helps another great girlfriend get plugged into the podcast, into the community. Speaking of community, make sure you join our Facebook group, The Great Girlfriends. You follow us on Instagram at The Great Girlfriends and on Twitter at @the_great_GFS. Last but not least, we'd like to thank my amazing husband, Kwaku, Sam and Dilly, and all of you for being a part of the global community that makes us so strong. Please remember to share with your friends. Keep listening and keep being a great girlfriend. I'm Sybil Amuti, and I'm out. Peace.